Since my first time tripping 4 years ago, I've done a lot of psychedelics, and I'm grateful when I say I'm yet to have a bad trip. My homie Steve, on the other hand, he isn't as lucky. Steve hasn't touched psychedelics in over 3 years because of an absolute nightmare of a trip he had during one of our guys' nights back in the summer of 2020. And today, with Steve's blessing, I present to you the craziest tale from any of my trips, the Shrooms trip from hell. Stick around until the end of the video for Steve's testimony so you can see exactly what the story was like from his perspective. First things first, let me set the scene. It was August of 2020. Me and the boys had made a plan for us to all sleep over at the homie Maven's house and take some psychedelic compounds together. Once we had a date secured, I asked the boys what compounds they wanted me to secure. Fazan, Natish, and Maven and Steve all wanted some shrooms. Maven only wanted 1.5 grams. Natish and Steve, however, wanted 3.5 grams each. And Fazan asked for a whopping 4.5 grams. I gotta say, at this point, most of the boys were pretty new to tripping. Me, Fazan, and my cousin Iman were the most experienced. Then it was Natish and Steve. However, they only had 2 trips under their belt, and Maven had only ever tripped 1 time before that. Iman opted to take some edibles that night, and I also decided to grab myself 2 tabs of acid instead of doing shrooms. So, with the date set and the supplies procured, everything was set for guys' night. Once the night finally arrived, we rallied up in Maven's basement. Everyone except for Iman, who was still at work. We started guys' night as the boys typically do, with some riveting Super Smash Bros action. We got a call from Iman letting us know he was gonna pull up in 30. So, with the timing just right, everyone grabbed their shrooms and chewed them down, and I popped my tabs of acid onto my tongue. Not even 5 minutes later though, Fazan started to complain about having a super gnarly stomach ache. He then gave me a look of pure horror as he stormed off into the bathroom and instantly yacked up all the shrooms that he had just ate. After his vomit comment had landed, Fazan was pretty much out of commission for the rest of the night, and he just went off to another room and called his buddy on the phone. Back in the main room, me, Maven, Natish, and Steve all were chilling super zenned out. At least, that's what I thought. That's when this buffoon, Steve, asked me, "Yo, Manit, if I'm in a bad headspace before the trip, it won't affect me during the trip, right?" At this point, my broski is at 8th deep, and I don't want to scare him. So I just told him, "Nah bro, you should be fine." Steve then let out a sigh of relief and said, "Okay, bet. Thanks bro." After some time had passed, Iman gave us a call and told us that he was outside the crib with some joints rolled up. We all headed out to the driveway where Iman was posted up with his edibles in hand. We said what's up, and then Iman ate the gummies. This unfortunately was the last thing we did before the shit hit the fan. As we headed out of Maven's neighborhood, Steve started to freak out. Wanting to avoid a scene, Maven told us to just go ahead and smoke and he'd take Steve inside to try and calm him down. So we did just that. As we smoked the joints, the acid hit me like a 18-wheeler and everything started to look like some shit straight out of Vice City. While I was having my otherworldly experience on the outside, Maven was trying to console Steve on the inside. Maven put on some SpongeBob, and at first, Steve seemed to calm down, but not for long, because he proceeded to sprint for the bathroom, saying he had to try and throw the shrooms up. Obviously, it was a bit too late for that since bro was already tripping balls. Maven, who was tripping balls himself, didn't know how to help. Once we all came back in from outside, we were all completely deep fried, and we saw the scene playing out in the bathroom. I ran into the bathroom and asked Maven what happened. Before Maven could even answer, Steve sprung up and said he had to go wake up Maven's parents. He blasted toward the stairs, but thankfully Maven was able to subdue him before he got upstairs. This is when things started to go absolutely wild. Steve said he knew we laced his shrooms and that the government paid us to do it. I should probably add in that during this time period, me and Steve had been down the conspiracy rabbit hole. Realizing I was the only one who could relate and reason with him, I took him to the corner where we sat and I asked him, "What's wrong?" Steve looked at me in pure horror and asked me if he was gonna die. I assured him he was gonna be okay, and he smiled at me and said, "Okay, bet. I believe you." He then instantly sprang up and ran for the stairs like a madman again. Maven again quickly intercepted him, but this time Steve bit Maven's arm and jaw. Thankfully, Maven thugged it out and he dragged him back over to me. I then talked Steve down and assured him the shrooms were not laced and that we had not been replaced by Illuminati body doubles. Meanwhile, Natish is off alone sitting in the dark. Fazan's back in his room on the phone, and poor innocent Iman is sitting in the main room eating chips and watching cartoons. Once Steve's calmed down a bit, we head back into the room with with Iman, and at this point we're like 2 hours deep into the trip, so we're just about at the peak. Things seemed calm and Iman asked Steve what happened and if he was okay. That's when Steve growled at Iman and said, "I fucked your bitch." To be clear, he did not actually sleep with Iman's girlfriend. Iman just laughed, not thinking much of it, but then Steve proceeded to sucker punch Iman while he was eating the chips. In one final attempt, Steve ran for the door, but I guess he didn't realize that it was closed and he ran straight into it. I guess that sobered him up because he got up like 20 seconds after and said that he was feeling much better. So with the absolute shitstorm fully endured, we explained to Steve what had happened as he could not remember some bits of the trip. Steve apologized profusely to Iman and Maven, but being the cool cats that they were, they said it didn't even hurt. And at this point it was like 4 AM, so we decided to go for a walk and smoke a few dubs while we process all that had just happened. We got back to Maven's house at like 5 AM and finished off the night with some funny internet videos, and by funny internet videos I mean conspiracy videos. As promised, here's Steve's testimony. Feel free to pause it so you can read the whole story from his point of view. It's a pretty funny read, also very sad. I hope that he didn't get any permanent like emotional damage from this, but we did our best to take care of him. Other than that, that's the whole story. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like, comment down below your thoughts and opinions, and yeah, peace out guys. It's been your boy King Mannu. I love you, bye.